everybody and welcome back to So What If I Sew, and welcome if you're new here. This channel is all about sewing, dressmaking and all things stitch related. This week, I know, I'm sorry, is not a sew along. I do quite a few and I tend to like to show you guys my practical sewing. However, there's another little bit of my bio that I want to talk about today, and I actually get a lot of questions about, which is that when I first started this channel and this blog, my sewing got good enough, I decided to give up fast fashion. Completely. Like, in fact, I'm actually just giving up buying ready-to-wear clothes, but fast fashion is the key for me because as somebody, I love shopping. Not necessarily for the acquisitive side either, I just really enjoy it as an experience, but I could no longer stand really the industry practices, and there's various other things really that bother me about it that we will talk about in a minute. So this video is to talk about my first 3 months really with absolutely no shopping at all. So stick around. I know this isn't my normal content, but it is something I think is important and I'd like to talk to you guys about. Why did I give up fast fashion? Oh, so many reasons. I think it's important to state here, I think sometimes it's really hard to understand why fast fashion is terrible when you're younger, and that's fine because there's a certain amount of perspective. Now obviously there are some young people who get it, but in my opinion you only start to understand the kind of the problematic wages that garment workers receive, the fact people aren't on the living wage, when you start making your own money and seeing what you spend it on. Because, you know, when people are buying clothes for you or you're not paying rent or council tax or anything, you don't really think about it in the same way. You just sort of go, oh, well, I could do this much with that money. You have no idea at that point. You start making your own money, and this is what happened for me. I hit my 20s and went, oh my God, the living wage is nothing. Like, and that is a baseline. The fact as well that you'd only have to raise garment prices by about 1% to then give those people a living wage. The fact that I can no longer be part of an industry that exploits people to that level, I really can't, and it makes me actually quite angry. But it really hit home to me. For years I've kind of gone, oh, what can I do? Because I can't afford to buy a lot of ethical clothing. Is quite expensive, and that is a barrier for a lot of people. But for me, the thing that really got it was I was like, I want to sew. Because I want to be able to make my own clothes. All clothes are handmade by somebody, so it might as well be me. And then I'm cutting out that horrifying part of the chain and hopefully contributing to a society where we can pay garment workers more and clothes might be more expensive, but I'd rather that than literal human suffering on every price tag. But the second reason I decided to give up fast fashion is slightly more personal. So it has annoyed me, probably since I hit puberty and got a body shape, that bodies go in and out of fashion. It's immensely frustrating to me that literal body parts, I remember reading an article in Vogue in 2016 online being like, yeah, cleavage is now out of fashion, and I was like, okay, that doesn't work for like 90% of us, where it's like, okay, well I just can't buy clothes I can fit my boobs in. Fine, great, guess that's, you know, me not buying any clothes for the next 5 years. It's insane to me that there is an industry that goes, yeah, no, sorry, for this year, you looked great last year, but this year you don't fit, so no clothes for you. And one of the things I adore about sewing is that you have, the fabric is a canvas to make clothes that fit you. You can take your measurements. Sizes don't matter anymore because you're working off your actual body measurements. So yeah, I started to find that more and more frustrating. It's the reason I started sewing when I was 17. I just wanted a top that fit my waist and my bust, which doesn't seem like a lot to ask. So I started sewing for those reasons, and then this summer my sewing got to the point where I was like, I can make garments that are wearable. I can. And that to me it's a huge step forward, and it's something I've always wanted to be able to do, but it meant I could reasonably and reliably give up fast fashion. Secondly, I already have a fairly good sized wardrobe, so I was like, well, I should be using these clothes, and I do not want to buy into a mentality that just tells me everything I've got is worthless because it's not in that shop with a price tag on it. It's been quite a journey for me as someone who adores shopping, and it's not that in an acquisitive sense. I genuinely love the actual experience of a day out shopping with my mum. It's an event, it's not just popping to the shops. But it is something that I miss that side of it, but I don't actually miss buying clothes, and I don't miss trying on thousands of things and finding that none of them fit me just because I'm a certain body shape. Firstly, what you have is often great. you need to look through your wardrobe. As somebody who sews as well, you can go through your wardrobe, and what I would encourage you to do if this is something you're looking at, you know, giving up fast fashion, is to go through the clothes you own, create a pile of stuff that you adore, that you love, and whenever you wear it you feel fantastic. And then create a pile of stuff that needs to be mended. So there's a top you might not have worn for 5 years because it's got a hole in it, or there's a dress that needs a zip replacing. Chuck them all in a bag. I have mine next to me. This is the alterations bag. And anything that gets a hole or a zip or anything gets thrown in there, and then I will replace it when I have time. But at least I'm conscious that there are items of my wardrobe that need to be fixed. They're not gone forever, they just need to be fixed. And then the third pile I'd recommend is a pile of clothes that you bought. Either you love them, but they don't fit you very well, or you love the fabric but you hate the cut, or, you know, I have, I had a polka dot dress that was very similar to this, that I looked at and went, this dress is gorgeous, but it looks terrible on me, but I love the fabric, so I made it into a top. I would encourage you to create an upcycle pile. And then there's always going to be clothes that maybe you've grown out of. Either way is fine. And, you know, sometimes there's scrap fabric there, sometimes there's stuff for wearable toiles, sometimes I give my friends stuff where I go, this looks terrible on me, but would you like this because I think it would look good on you? And then, you know, other people are getting joy out of your stuff. I try not to use charity shops too much because I know that the charity shop system doesn't really work, but it's better than throwing your clothes out as well, in a lot of ways. But I think, yeah, I've learned to have a greater awareness of what I own and also what I like wearing. I'm going to do a big blog post about this as well, where I had no awareness of style before I started sewing. Now, that's not to say I looked terrible, I wear what I like, but I've thought about fashions or trends I like. I've never thought about my overarching style, if that makes sense. So it's been a real education to go, now I'm only making my clothes. What do I want to wear? What have I always been nervous to wear? What have I always wanted but knew it would never fit me? And that's my starting point, is going, what do I love? What do I love wearing? Or what have I always dreamed about wearing? Let's start there. And if the fashion industry's not let me up till now, then great, I have a measuring tape and I can do it myself. Which moments have made me feel a little bit weak on the old, oh, I might buy something? So I am an autumn winter person. I love the summer and everything, but I kind of hate dressing for the summer. But the winter, normally I go and buy a couple of bits. I've just, you know, kind of new season colours, just a few things, because I love jumpers, I love heeled boots, I love coats, I am that person. I love fitted autumnal winter colours, so the shops right now are a hard place for me to walk past. However, I did a blog on this a while ago, I've unsubscribed from every single clothing shop and jewellery shop and anything that I was subscribed to, so I don't get any emails now, which has made life a lot easier. One popped through the other day and reminded me, I was like, I've not had one of these in months. So if you are trying to give up fast fashion, you're finding it hard, definitely check what you're subscribed to, because it doesn't help getting emails into your inbox going, buy this, buy me, because a lot of your brain will just go, yeah, sure, I'll do that, especially when you've only just made the decision. I've kind of channeled some of that when I've been feeling a little bit low and want to do some shopping. I've sort of channeled it into sewing planning and getting some fabric and kind of going, yes, I'd love to buy that, but it's not ethical. Realistically, it's not going to fit me. It's going to arrive and I'm going to feel really bad. So let's think about, what project do I want to work on, or what's my dream garment? Like, I've got some Liberties denim that is sat in the fabric bag until I'm confident enough to sew jeans, but it's sat there so that when I feel the urge, I can dive into trying to make jeans, which will take me like a couple of weeks realistically around work, but it's good to have those backup projects. But yeah, there's been, the season we're in is definitely a weak point, and also not being prepared. So like when I gave up fast fashion, I did make sure that, for example, I had enough bras and stuff like that, because there are certain things that I'm not quite confident enough to sew. However, the new machine has helped a lot. When I gave up fast fashion, I did not have the new machine, and I was like, oh my god, how am I going to do X, Y, Z? But actually, it's been a great chance to expand my sewing, and the new machine has been a great companion for that. I want to finish off with the top 3 positives from this experience, because there's thousands of positives, but there are 3 really big positives for me personally. Number 1 is that it is very, very good to review what you own. If I could advise anyone to do anything, it's to go through what you own and try it on, and also try on all the stuff you love. I have a box upstairs full of evening wear because I love evening wear and occasion wear, it's so fun. And I feel great wearing it. And what I've started doing, if I'm ever like, oh, I'd love to go buy something, I go through what I've got upstairs and go, God, I love these. These are amazing. This is why I own this box, and it's why I've still got them. Because whenever I do go into anything smart, we can delve into the box. There's a lot in there, so it's not wearing the same dress to everything either, and it's fun. Secondly, it's positive to outline the gaps in your wardrobe and then plan sewing projects to fill them. So I did a blog on this again a while ago, that I've linked in the comments, where I talked about the fact that when I went through my wardrobe, I had to think about what I like buying. And what I like buying is occasion wear, dresses and knitwear, because those are the things I love. I'm wearing a knitted dress, this is kind of all 3 really. But I don't like buying jeans, I don't like buying tops, because I'll buy shirts quite happily, like big oversized shirts, but I hate buying tops because it's just boring and I can never think what to go with them, or like that I need them, and then it gets to work and I'm like, oh God, I have nothing. So I did a big push this summer, as you will notice from my Instagram, on making different kinds of tops. So I've got a variety of bright, fun, well-fitting tops that I can wear to work, I can wear out, and that was a big thing for me, is to identify that weakness in my wardrobe and then go, I can fill it with garments I've made that I love. My final positive really is that this giving up fast fashion has enabled me to expand my sewing repertoire massively. I am honestly overwhelmed at the number of skills I have now that I didn't have 3 months ago. In fact, I'm about to start making a raincoat, which, like, if you told me 6 months ago that I was going to have a crack at making like an actual wax jacket raincoat, I would have been like, what are you talking about? There's no way in hell. But this journey's given me confidence, because also it's reminded me that all clothes are made by somebody. So there's no reason I can't. There's no mythical process. It might take me a while, but there's no kind of magic that goes into making clothes. It is somebody making them. So I would like that person for my clothes to be me. So how are we looking into the next 3 months, heading up to Christmas and crucially my birthday? So I am making a lot for people's Christmas. I'm making everybody's Christmas present basically, but all stuff like, so my sister's going to get a wax jacket like mine because that was my original purpose. I'm actually making myself one to make sure hers is perfect. And I was like, might as well get a jacket out of it. And yeah, I'm making stuff for my whole family. I am curating my Christmas list carefully to make sure it's got stuff on it that I want, and sewing supplies and fabric gift cards and things like that, so that I'm not tempted to, you know, stray. And I've asked people not to buy me clothing as well, because I don't want to participate in that way. Not that a lot of people do buy me clothing, but kind of a just in case, please don't. And then for my birthday, I always shop quite a lot around my birthday, because my birthday, if you ask anyone, is the best week. I love my birthday, it takes a long time. So I'm going to try and make sure that I've planned some great projects so I can make myself a really pretty birthday outfit and kind of still engage with clothing and style and fashion that way, and then sort of ignore the shops, and if I go out try and do less kind of in-person shopping. I may allow myself some shoes, but yeah, to do less in-person shopping. So my final item I'd like to mention in this video, I've learned so much about my own style. I'd never considered myself as somebody who had style. It's through making my own clothes and considering what looks good on me and what I like wearing, which obviously intersect massively because I like everything. It's given me the confidence to try new things. So I would really recommend that if you're freaking out, if you want to give up fast fashion but you're absolutely freaking out, take a month off to start with, go through your entire wardrobe, try everything on, take lots of pictures, and just sit down with yourself and think, what do I like wearing? Like, what have I always liked wearing? for me, there's certain garments that I've always wanted to own. And one of them is like a proper wax jacket, so I'm making that for myself. But it is a really valuable introspective experience to sit and go, what do I like wearing? And why am I engaging with fast fashion? Why am I engaging with the fashion industry? What do I get and what do they get? And the thing is, there is no right or wrong answer to that. There isn't, but it's a valuable piece of introspection. And I feel like it's given me a more rounded view of how I engage with various industries, not just the fashion industry, but how I engage with them and what I want from them. And if that's something I can supply for myself, which in this case it is. I love the excitement from getting something new, as we all do. It's a serotonin thing. And I love the day out of shopping. Now I can still do that, but I could go fabric shopping instead, which would be more fun because then I can buy things. And it's the same sort of fun social experience with friends or family. You are considering giving up fast fashion, to just have a think about why. Because no goal, equally no goal or promise to yourself is strong if you don't know why you're doing it. I've learned a lot about why I do what I do and what I do, and also what I want to spend my money on is the other thing. Is I earn all of that now, so it's not, I refuse to just give it to, you know, Topshop and people like that, because they aren't size inclusive and they aren't inclusive of my body type. So why should I waste my money throwing it at Philip Green when I could be buying fabric or buying bits for my sewing machine or spending it going out with my partner, you know, on experiences and things that matter to me. So thank you for coming and listening to my small rant. I know it's very different to the content I usually do, but it was really important to me that somewhere on my YouTube there was a video talking about why I've given up fast fashion and what I'm doing. And I will give you guys probably like a 6-monthly, quarterly update, depending on what's going on how I'm doing with that, because it is a big change to suddenly undergo. And yeah, if anyone's got any questions or wants to have a chat about it or is really struggling, drop me a comment below, drop me a message. But otherwise, thank you very much for joining me today. I'll be back next week with a My Week in Sewing video, and there is so much going on next week, which is why I've chosen it, because I've got lots of projects to work on. So looking forward to seeing you guys then. For the meantime, give this video a little like if you enjoyed it, comment below, and subscribe if you want to hear more from me. But otherwise, I'll see you guys soon.